The time is here, and a lot sooner than we thought. Hello, Ranger fans, and welcome to the very first Power Rangers Dino Charge episode review. I wasn't expecting this episode to go up until about February 10th or so. But do you remember this moment from the end of the Super Megaforce hiatus? A Power Rangers picture was posted to Facebook with the promise that if it reached over 2,100 likes, the next episode of Super Megaforce would be posted on Nick.com 1 week early. Well, I guess they figured if that worked once, then they should try it again. The Power Rangers Twitter account issued a challenge on Thursday to their followers to retweet a picture, this picture, 100 times in order to unlock the first episode early. Well, obviously that easy challenge was blown out of the water, and the episode was posted late Thursday, early Friday. Power Rangers fans rejoiced! Episode reviewers freaked out and rushed to get their videos done talking about their hopes for the season. However, the new episode is watched and I am ready to tell you about it. Oh, and in less time than an episode itself, no more of this 20-minute reviews of 24-minute episodes. So, let's leave two giant T-Rex feet first into episode 1 of Dino Charge, Powers from the Past. Oh wait, almost forgot, this is a Power Rangers reviews video, so of course I can't start the review without making a couple of disclaimers. First of all, this episode is only currently on Nick.com, so if you can't see it or you just don't want to watch it yet, there are going to be spoilers in this review. Also, yes, I am familiar with Kyoryuger, and I've also seen the sneak peek clips for Dino Charge. However, I'm going to be reviewing this as if I was seeing it for the very first time in order to give proper reaction to things. The episode begins with what's a really awesome looking chase scene in space. A small shuttle is being pursued by a large, menacing looking ship that seems to be towing some kind of large rock. The large ship is being piloted by a lion-looking guy, and he's got an angry face on his shoulder. Lion Dude calls out to Wrench, a knight-looking creature that has a sad face on his shoulder, to fix the lasers before their master Sledge arrives. Wrench whines that it's hard, but then of course Sledge shows up and shows off his toughness by fixing it himself. It turns out they're pursuing a creature called Keeper. But then some bright sweetness steps in to temper Sledgeums as this bright, heart-covered creature steps in. She asks if this Keeper is the one preventing them from getting married, and then steps in to aim the lasers, after Sledge blasts a foot soldier for being in the way. Ah, love. And yes, of course, she's got a smiley face on her. It turns out her name is Poisandra, and with her help, Keeper's ship is hit and begins crashing towards a very familiar-looking blue and green planet. Sledge tells Fury to go down and retrieve the Energems, saying that they will give him the power he needs to rule the universe. That's when we get Dino Charge's first opening sequence, and this is a small complaint, and it's always going to be true, but the opening sequence gives away some stuff that we don't know yet. We see Zords, we see Ranger suits, just all kinds of stuff. Interestingly, we do see a sixth character with the Rangers also shown fighting bad guys. Her name is Kendall. Oh, and for the first time in 4 years, finally, none of that Mickey Mouse Club type roll call name reading. It really helped. Addition by subtraction. So, back in the story, Keeper has crashed on Earth and is approached by a T-Rex. He's totally cool with this, as he can talk to it, and asks it to gather some of its strongest buddies. The T-Rex is down with this and goes off to do so. Keeper returns to his wrecked ship and finds the Energems, 10 glowing crystals that are all different colors. He then hears the Lion Dude approaching the crash site. Lion Dude gets there and Keeper is suddenly apparently unconscious on the ground. In a shocking bit of good sense, he's actually about to finish the job when he sees the case for the Energems and grabs it. Of course, that good sense doesn't extend far enough to check that the Energems are inside, and instead he just leaves. It turns out the ship is kind of a prison containing the creatures that Sledge has caught in his work as a bounty hunter. He sees the Energems as in the bag and is already deciding on his next target. Apparently he's going to go after Munkiwi's ancient ancestor. However, Poisandra is tired of the bounty hunter game and insists that after this mission, they will get married. Oh, and take a peek at the creature in the back cage. You might just be seeing him again. Lion Dude returns to the ship, and Poisandra informs us that his name is Fury. He brings the case, which of course is a trick. As a matter of fact, it's a bomb. The ship is damaged, a foot soldier falls into a launch button which launches the escape pod, and the rocks the ship had been gathering are loosed and start falling towards Earth, and you can all see where this is going. The T-Rex returns to Keeper with his dino peeps, and Keeper explains that the Energems are an amazing energy source with a power that transcends time and space, and good and evil. Interesting. Anyway, he bonds the Energems with the dinosaurs to keep them safe. T-Rex gets red, Velociraptor gets green, Triceratops gets blue. Gotcha! It's actually pink. Blue goes to a Stegosaurus, an Ankylosaurus gets light blue, a Pachycephalosaurus gets either gray or silver, and a Parasaurolophus gets purple. Although there was a darker Energem, so it might be black. Interestingly, 3 of the Dino Gems aren't seen being given out, but a Pterodactyl and either a Brontosaurus or a Brachiosaurus did show up as well. Fury shows up back on Earth and says thanks to Keeper, they're now stuck there. The two of them fight until the rocks from Sledge's ship start crashing into the Earth. Yes, it turns out that it was Sledge's captured space rocks that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. Fury tries to run, while Keeper simply accepts his fate. We then skip ahead, of course, to present day and a dinosaur museum. A tour guide basically tells us that what we saw took place 65 million years ago, which, according to history, it did. A guy in red breaks from the crowd and notes some caves. He asks a worker where they are, and then he takes a selfie. In a nice bit of transitional storytelling, we follow the worker instead of the red shirt guy. He hits on a girl, gets quickly rejected, and then goes to lunch. A waitress sees him walk in, and then she's distracted from then on out. She drops a roll into a woman's soup. The woman informs us that the waitress's name is Shelby, and thankfully the woman didn't get any soup on her purple ring. Shelby then gives a full order of food to a table that hasn't even ordered yet, before following the worker back out of the restaurant. The smooth, suave worker dude named Chase is from New Zealand and thinks that Shelby just wants to get with him. But Shelby's actually interested in going on the Triceratops dig that he's going on. Her favorite dino is the Triceratops. It's right there on her name tag. The name tag's sitting on her pink shirt. The girl in the pink shirt loves Triceratops. Hint, hint, hint. Hint, hint, hint. Shelby bugs Chase some more as the two pass a green raptor, but Chase says that she can't come because museum policy says so. So she turns her efforts to Coda, who seems big, strong, and kind of primitive. She tempts him with a burger in exchange for being able to come along, but while Coda takes the burger, he wasn't even really listening to what she was saying. Then Dinner Roll Lady walks out. Shelby calls her Miss Morgan, but the intro sequence calls her Kendall. Kendall Morgan shoots her down too, even when she proves that she's smarter than Skater Boy and Captain Belchalot. But Shelby just will not take no for an answer and sneaks onto the truck as it leaves, which drives by a pink Triceratops. Back to the red dude, who finds the caves he was looking for and heads on in. He finds something kind of like a tooth and then gets chased off by a roaring cloak. He gets away by hiding badly and encounters a T-Rex fossil. It has a shimmering red spot and he takes some kind of crystal. At the dig site, Shelby plans to spring her surprise when a box she was sitting next to is taken. The cloak guy is looking for something in the boxes and he finds something pink and takes it. Shelby yells for the guys, but they can't hear her over the equipment, so she runs off after him. She takes the box, but the monster blasts her down. That's when Red Dude suddenly swings in, literally, and takes the box back, introducing himself as Tyler Navarro and saying he was in the neighborhood. That line finally gets shot down as Shelby points out there is no neighborhood. The monster suddenly feels like showing off, and it's the creature from the cage before. Yes, Time Force style, it seems like Sledge is using the creatures that he's captured as his soldiers. Or he escaped, but since I'm assuming that Sledge is okay, yeah. After a bit of comic relief fighting, the two get knocked down and drop their energems. They reach for them, but the monster freezes them first. However, the power of the energems is stronger and the two are freed from the ice. Their gems glow and they suddenly get giant fossil guns. Dang it, Gosei, cut it out! Tyler guesses that the energems go into the front of the gun because, hey, that's usually how you load a gun, right? Well, thankfully it works in this case and defossilizes the weapons. Tyler plays with the spin barrel on the gun a little bit and it shoots the monster. They decide to try this by spinning the barrels even more, but a funny thing happens when they try to shoot the monster again. Instead of shooting the monster, giant dinosaur heads come down and chomp them, and they are morphed into Power Rangers. The two say they feel much more powerful and decide to fight the monster, and they're doing really well. And then a giant red T-Rex comes stomping by. The monster calls it the T-Rex Zord, and it grabs the monster and tosses him away before leaving. The two were demorphed when the T-Rex stomped by them, and they take in what happened as they leave. We get more backstory on Tyler in one episode than we did on Troy in 40. 10 years ago, Tyler's father mysteriously vanished during an expedition. Tyler is on a quest to find answers using his father's notes to find info. The notes say that his father was being stalked by a creature, but it wasn't the ice lion, but instead looked like Fury. Shelby foreshadowingly says that she hopes to meet his father one day, and then, yep, the two of them drive right by Fury, who says that he smells energems. In reaction to this episode, I'd like to quote from The Incredibles. "That was totally wicked! I can't describe to you how much I loved this episode. It was such a breath of fresh air from Megaforce. The characters just feel so much more alive and there's just so much more backstory and characterization. It's so well done. There are little references, little background hints, and quiet moments of exposition. The villains are leagues better. Sledge is more menacing than the car's worst nightmare, and had a really nice Rita and Zed dynamic going on with Poisandra. Each of the generals had an actual personality and character. Even Wrench, and he only had like 2 lines. And if Keeper is to be our mentor, how amazingly wonderful to have a mentor that can actually move, plan, and fight. Oh, and ready for a shock, Rangers? This episode was 100% original footage. What a great way to show that this will be distanced from the Sentai. Of course, Dino Charge is going to use its fair share of Kyoryuger footage, but this was just a wonderful way to show that this show is starting in a totally different place. Well, alright, flags are really no longer appropriate to the theme, so sadly we can't hoist the colors anymore. So instead, let's dig up fossils! Episode 1, Powers from the Past. Pros, great characterization for everybody we see, wonderful use of background hints and hidden details, and the original footage really helps establish a new direction. Cons, the cheesy puns are still there. They almost went too far on the background hints, especially with Shelby, and the morphers pulled a Gosei and just kind of showed up. We are starting at the top, folks. Powers from the Past digs up 5 fossils out of 5. Hoo boy, Dino Charge, you have set a very high standard for yourself. This episode just felt so much better. Maybe it's the Chip Lin effect. And yes, it seems he's now Chip Lin instead of Judd Lin. I don't know. It just felt like Power Rangers again. Dino Charge is starting slowly, taking its time. We only saw 2 Rangers morph and we didn't see the Zords, well, except for the T-Rex. But the extra time given to backstory and characterization was so welcomed that I didn't miss anything else. Powers from the Past will air on February 7th at noon on Nick on TV. I think this early internet airing is for us, the adult fans. I don't think a lot of the kids really know about internet airings or even any of that stuff. So an early internet airing is aired to show what we think of the show, and then the ratings will show what the kiddos think. Well, so far, Save On Brands, I can say that this is exactly what we want. You guys know what an early episode airing means. We've now got a little bit of time until the next new episode. Episode 2, Past, Present, and Fusion, will be airing on February 14th, Valentine's Day. I wonder if it'll focus on Poisandra, since she's all covered in hearts. A new teen finds his own Energem and joins Tyler and Shelby on their pilgrimage to the Dinosaur Museum, where they learn they are part of an elite team called the Power Rangers. They are trusted with protecting the Energems from a fierce bounty hunter named Sledge, who has returned and is more determined than ever to capture the Energems for himself. Alright, maybe not, but the show still seems to be headed in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching the first episode of Power Rangers Dino Charge episode reviews. What did you guys think of Powers from the Past? Let me know by leaving some comments right down below. Make sure to subscribe so you know when my latest Power Rangers videos come out. And like the video by clicking that like button right down below. Also, make sure to follow Orange Ranger videos on social media. I'm going to be showing the links right after the video. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, may the power protect you. Bye. Alright, let's see. Is he in this dimension? Oh, no, nothing worthwhile happens in this one. Why did you even show me this meaningless, pitiful dimension? Next!